아니 다리 주트 쉬야티 또 디 사제 쳔보 걸 나한테 쉬야렌도 사제 쳔보 따와 공바 소바 텐데 걸라양 제이야바 감도 꿈팅 숨바 런던 아무 꿈 같은 이렇게 제이야바 지요를 뒤토네마 다시 집단 쉬야라고 그래도스.
And so the main Dharma teaching that we're going to cover together to share on this occasion is the teachings of the Mahamudra, and so presenting the view, the meditation and action of the Mahamudra, and we'll do that based on the short text that was composed by the third Khamtrul Rinpoche, the Ngawang Kunga Tenzin.
Yeah, tinta septang ke ta tambichu seyati ta zo ngarang zo ketane 심진 소이나야 심진 참마 그줄라 안테니 마음발라 상 지롱케 테니 누바 테니 시데버시피 닝보 세주테 아니 심진 참마 라코로 릭 쳬퍼타 테니 텐데케 가야 메바 아니 로바 소이나야 참마 그줄라 테니 pena tene wamak nangdo mari yoba tang tilk nangdo tene tinnam yoba o tin na hi che ke tene simchin choma ke jula yang te tawo ke sanji che sawon senari sanji ke ri devership nimbo te tene yoyo paji tende yindu tene tetao ke semchi romjin ke tene yontin te tene tsu rana soso ke chikte kone kontu peya tang te chik drupa yena tene drup toba drup to rongwa ta tene chik yimbari yena yang te tela yang nekap to pena nima tabu chayana nima te nekap tene trimba la sopa ke drip drip kabla ane nima te mantong ba nime o te sal mato ba tende chi yina yang tondo korong nima korang trimba ke kaya kuba meba ta te tabu tsuji tene yores.
So generally speaking, so when talk about the holy Dharma, the Buddha Dharma. One thing to understand is that the all sentient beings, everyone, all the people, but all sentient beings have that capacity to reach enlightenment. They have that potential, that power. They're all able to reach Buddhahood, to become a Buddha. And that is because they have as a ground, as their basis, is that Buddha nature. So that there is, it's the nature of all sentient beings, without distinction of different species or caste or whatever. All sentient beings have that nature of a Buddha, and therefore can reach enlightenment. And that nature of a Buddha, so it's present in everyone, but it is the nature of our mind. But then that we can reveal progressively through practice, and can manifest more and more, and so that finally we come to become a Buddha. But that at the moment, so that Buddha nature, which is so which is the example given, traditional example is like a little bit like the butter which is already present in the milk, by churning the milk, eliminating the milk, then you just bring out the essence of the butter. Or another example is the oil in the sesame seed, so when you press the seed, then you can bring out the oil, so it's already present there. And so likewise also, the Buddha nature is called like the seed of Buddhahood, so which is present in all sentient beings. It is like it's like that we are the Buddha family, or like the Buddha caste, so that in the same caste as the Buddha, we are all the same in that, it's the same nature as a Buddha. And so the only thing is that at the moment, of course, it's not manifest. And here again, we can take an example, and that is of the clouds hiding the sun. So when the sun is very much there, present in the sky all the time, right? But then when the clouds are there, then you don't see the sun. So likewise, that nature, that Buddha nature, is there in you, but then is there in us. But then because of those temporary obscurations, then it is we are not seeing it. It's not manifest.
Tene indu te tabu kata arang tsu nekap su tene jik sem te namtok wang tu jurpa tang tene namtok te yang namtok nane chang tene jik ta nyom momba ke tene toba ta tene jik wang tu jurne tene sem korang ke rangin te I doma ne ta tabi rangin jin tene jik hina yang tene nekap su tene te tao ke jik nyom momba tang ta maripa ke tene dripa ke drip ne sem korong ke rangin ke sem korong ke rangin te tene tso ngon matopa pen nima te tene drink dripa la tene nime ho te sar matopa o ten drapa chike tene lobar dripa te ke tene nekap chik ta sem ke rangin ke yonten senare namso nyangi lende pa ke tene yonten tenzo tso ngon matopa tende chik yindu tene te soton sanji chomden teke tene chu rinpa namba mambo chik chu chinkolo namba na tsoko mambo chik korwa la ta chipton ke pena nyentu chi tekwa tang tene chanchu sembe tekwa tang songwa nga chi tekwa la sokwa ke tene tekwa soam che tene chu chinkolo mambo chik korwa teta yang ta teta ki nyingbo te yang zo tene rang soso ke tene semchu dewa shipi nyingbo te ke tene te le dripi ke tene dripsi che trima rakpa ta trawa tenzo ma tene shivar sepa tang tene semchu ke yonten te su ngombar sepi che to tene sung yakpa che res.
So our mind, so is it's because we have all those thoughts that arise in the mind, that they are the ones that obscure basically that Buddha nature. And so, and particularly so amongst the thoughts that we have, the one we call the destructive emotions, or the mental poison. And so all the thoughts that we have so obscure, cover that Buddha nature. So that is that nature of the mind. So the mind naturally by nature is completely pure, but then it is covered. So the fact that it's covered by those obscurations also doesn't change anything. That pure nature is always there. It's just how it is. It's pure by nature, and it's just the circumstances are such that at the moment, so it's obscured temporarily. And again, it's the example of the sun. The sun is always in the sky, but then when you have dark clouds, then you can't really see the light of the sun. That light, that warmth of the sun doesn't really reach you. And likewise also, so the nature of that Buddha nature, the nature of the mind is primordially pure, and it is basically the qualities, you could say, of the mind are those qualities of enlightenment. In the nirvana, that all those qualities of the Buddha are the qualities of our mind. They are there in our mind, but then because of those temporary obscurations, then we don't see them. They don't appear to us. We're not able to relate to them, and so that is why. So the Buddha then taught the Buddha Dharma and gave different kinds of teachings. We talk about the three yanas, so that basically the three approaches to the Dharma: the vehicle of the Shravakas, the vehicle of the Bodhisattvas, the vehicle of secret mantra Vajrayana. So those three turnings of the wheel of the Dharma, or those three sets of teachings, then have been given by the Buddha in order to. It is because we have this Buddha nature which is temporarily obscured. So it's all about removing. They are all being given as ways to eliminate those obscurations, those thoughts, concepts, destructive emotions that cover those enlightened qualities of our minds. And so that is the purpose. That is why the Buddha gave all these teachings.
Buddha senare Buddha sejo korong ke triktiya tene te kona ni ke nelu te tene kontu choba te kona ni chi nelu to somba te la tene Buddha sejo yodu tene tomar tene sanji ina yang toma tene susuche wo tamapachi re tene yena yang tene ti jiso ji toma tene jega na jila so ko donga zini tene korwal ngipar njong tene ti tone ta ji tar tene chu te nyamsu lane chu te nyamsu lone lamji temba te nyamsu lone tene tele ton tele tene tar doji tena tene ngombra zopas sangje ba ta tende indu tene sangje rani kejang tene tangbo ta chu tamji chi nelu tene kanyimba chetawa ke tene nelu kanyimba te tene tsujindu sanji rani ke tangbo zik tene ti sepi tone tene chu tamji chi nelu kanyimba tene tene simji yinge yang tetawa ke tene tonda te tobi cheto tene sanji chumdin te ke chu tomate tene waranas transong warada cha naso tene ka tombo tembaji chuchin kolo korwan ne zongde tene tiji la ka papa kata zo ta di road karsa di sagu pumpu rela tene zo tepa chembo kata jara partu samba ke tepa chembo ke chu kolo ko no ata tene patin repon ke choti tende la tene yo sanga doji tepa ke tene chunko ko la so ba ta tende ke tone Thomas Hanji Rani ke tene chetawa ke nyelo te tsojin to sik tene ti simkin yin daya te tabu ke tonda te tene so ngasum to tobe ke cheto tene chujin kolo ramba mambo chi ko nawares.
So the Buddha, we say the Buddha, so that refers to basically he is someone who's realized suchness. Suchness means basically the way things are, the very nature of things, or exactly just the way things are, seeing that directly. That's a Buddha. And so, but the Buddha started as an ordinary person, just but then seeing the situation of samsara, had just seeing how it's just suffering, then that sense of renunciation for samsara arose in his mind, and as a result, so he went on to practice the path, the Dharma, so that removing the obscuration, so that finally he reached the enlightenment at Bodh Gaya. And so when reaching enlightenment, so the Buddha came to see the very nature of things, how things are, exactly as they are. And so first, and in seeing that, then he was able also to come to help sentient beings by helping them to also free themselves from the obscurations that prevent them from seeing this nature of things, the way things are exactly, and themselves reach that state of complete liberation of Buddhahood. And so that is why, so out of that realization, then he went on to teach, to turn the wheel of the Dharma, as we say. So that is the first teaching that he gave was on the Four Noble Truths in Sarnath at the Deer Park. And then he taught also the what is called the intermediate turning, or the second turning of the wheel of the Dharma. That means that second set of teachings, that is of the Mahayana teachings that he taught at the Vulture Peak Mountain and in Rajgriha in India. And then he also taught at the great accumulation of fruition stupa. He taught the teachings of the secret mantra Vajrayana. And so all these teachings, so he presented. So there's a vast amount of teachings that the Buddha gave, all in order for us to remove this obscuration and come to realize the actual nature of things, the way things are, to see that directly.
Aronso tene simki suyena ya tene ji chute tsujin to nyamso lomba yena tene ti chitawa nelu tene toya yoba ta te to ne tene ji ombar zoba sangji ya yoba ta tene ji temba tik tondan rabuti tendichi temba res ti indu tani sanji ke tani chu temba kapso yang tani pena chita tani nepa la membi min tonata somba tabata tondo simjin ke tani dubsa soso ke tani la Khamtrul wangbo tene mandrava tene mambuchi yoba indu ini tenso tsoma la chi ta pengo yoba re ti pen toko yodu tene penna neba drab chigina tene neba ke rik nasandra mandra tene neba ke korang ke zupo shuk chechung tang ta tendre ta papa ke tene memban kepa tsu ke yang tene tetan samba ke ini neba tila minchu che goya mato ke tene yang chitan ke men siya te korang nasa traya re te ina yang di neba korang ke yang sukam tang di mantun pa ina yang men te yang shuk chajang ke che song pa ina yang neba ke supo la non roya drama ta tende yung se pa indu tene memban kepa ke neba soso ke tene kam sukam tang tumba ke men tong ne tene tele ta neba te nele trora seba nanjin ke tene sanji ke jang dosa soso ke tene kam tang ombo ramendra mambo yod teda tang tumba ke tene chuchin kolo ta napa natsoka mambo chi kot nawa te yang ta dosa ke kam te kam tang ombo te la yang ramendra mambo chi yoba yindu tele tene sanji ke chuchin kolo chute yang tene ramba mambo chi kot nawa res.
So the Buddha taught so that we be able also, that sentient beings also be able to realize the way things are, reality, you could say, the way things are just as they are, and see that, and in this way reach enlightenment. And so so that is why he gave those teachings. And in teaching, an example is used is that the Buddha is like a doctor, a skillful doctor, and that the people who are or the sentient beings are like people who are sick, so need treatment. And what that means is that the Buddha, so when he teaches, since he needs to help those sentient beings, has to be done in accordance with the dispositions of sentient beings. There are so many different kinds of beings with so many different kinds of minds and dispositions and so on. So for the teaching to really be able to help them, then those teachings need to be in accordance with something they can relate to. So in accordance with their dispositions, and so that is why the Buddha taught those so many different ways, because it's like we said it's like sentient beings are like somebody who's sick, who's ill, and in that, so there are many different kinds of illnesses, and also people have their own body with the specific kind of disposition, so that the medicine has the power to cure that illness. But then if that medicine is not doesn't work for that person based on the the disposition of the person, then it is not going to help. Say that the medicine is very strong and the person his body is his condition is quite weak, then give that strong medicine will actually harm the person more than help that person. So you need to find the right treatment for that particular person with that particular condition. And so it is like that the Buddha also gave a vast variety of different teachings in order because he needs to help all sentient beings, so to be able to reach all sentient beings with their different dispositions. Then the Buddha taught those many different ways.
Lixar ke la tene dharmas seki yore tene bok kitu ta chu se lawi yodu tondo tene dharma seki tek tonda te ta pena nzimbala kogu yore nzimba sena ta pena menrawa chik kashi pena kangba toka nrawa chik na ma shudru chegi yona tene jablo ne zung shakpa yina tene korong kangba toka ne ma shugi yo ma re ten nangshi chike rang tsoka tene sem te sabtong ke sem se ju te rang sem re te yina yang tene sem te rang ke wang to ma jo ne nyom mongpi yawang to jur ne tene te to ne ta rang tso korwa tang ne son la cham te pa te rang sem te rang wang to ma jo ne rang sem te nyom mongpi yawang to jo ne no tene korwa ne cham te pa tende chi indu te tabu ke tan korwa ne cham ne dunga nyang de ke tawa te tene kir le ta nyom mongba rete ten le ta nyom mongba ke tawa te tene marikpa ta temre chuni ke non yana ya tene thoma te marikpa sipi tawa te marikpa indu tondo tene datun zamba ke dancing o della tene chik nyom mongba tang tene ta tiki le sakwa tang tiki tene rewa dunga ta jepa samma tele tene yungi yodu tene tambi chu se ju teke tene rang ke rangju te tene pa ndon rangju ke tene chik da jipan zimba tang tene chik nyomong tenso te ma shivar se tenso nyekab suya na tenso ma chik ngon nambar seba tang tene takto suya na ya rangju ke danzi te nyomong ba tenso tene chula tene pa pang rogi yoba indu tene tele ta chu se ya te tene zo te ta rangi korwa ta nge song ne le so zambar sepa chopar sepa tende layang kogu yores.
So the in Sanskrit, so the Dharma is the word. The Dharma Tibetan is the true in so that corresponds basically to the teachings of the Buddha, and the meaning of one of the meaning of it is that it is that which holds you in that. To give an example, is that if there's somebody who's kind of on top on the roof of a house, and then there's danger of falling, but then if there's a railing or something supporting them, then they don't or holding them if they're tied.
Someone
is there, so somebody on top of a house is about to fall, and then someone is there to hold them back, then that prevents them from falling. And so likewise also, so our minds are plagued by the mental poisons, this destructive emotions, and so as a result of which we accumulate karma, and because of that, so we're falling in the samsara, and so the root of it is ignorance. As it says, the way that the world unfold is explained by those. It's called the 12 links of interdependent origination. So that shows how the world originates, based on cause and condition independently. And so, it all starts with ignorance. So ignorance is like the root of of existence, or the root of the world, and of our existence, and so particularly so that grasping at the self, this idea that there is a self, there's an I, then we hold on to that. As a result, when we do that, then negative emotions, those mental poisons, then arise, and then we accumulate negative karma, and that keeps us in the experiencing that enormous suffering in the cycle of existence or samsara. And so, but then the Dharma is that what can hold us back, can protect us from that, so that because if we can eliminate that, not have that grasping at the self, then there won't be destructive emotions, there won't be karma, there won't be the suffering of samsara. And so the Dharma is very much what helps us with that. It is that helps us on the kind of sort of immediate, kind of temporary way already, helps in a way, but also ultimately help us in helping us so temporarily like that and pacifying those somewhat those negative influences, but then also ultimately will enable us to completely eliminate them, eliminate the grasping of the self, those destructive emotions, and so the karma as well, so that we're free from that suffering. So that's why. So the Dharma is really, it's like that person who's holding us. It's like a protection.
Tende into Tende septong kita ngarang tsu namba sanji paake namne ta jik tarpa tang tamjin chenpa kita ne kompang tengi drupa te ta ngarang tsu namba sanji paake ta miyul tatu ke miyul drupa te te rang cha teki yore te indu tene ta tarpa tang tamjin chenpa kompang drupa te tene yin jik tarpa seju te chilo la pa shinkam drago shenda ji la pa jiktin shenda drago ji la pa roya drago tende kaya meba ta zo ngarang su senjin tama ki jula yoba ke tene tabi yontin shiju dewa shipi nyingbo tini tene rangla yoba ke ta karse ko rangla yoba ke jote ene rang tsu drubni ene tabi yontin te rang sem ke tola tene tsu drubni tene tabati top goba tene ji hindu tene te taw ke tene ta rang sem ji nelu teni topar seba ke tene tabla yang ta septong ke ta tumon tepe kap ni somba ke ta jik shini ta lamtong gomya tene yore te ta ma se pa ke tene sanga doji tepa taba cha jana tene ta zo sanga lami taba yina wang yik tene nyamni ta pomang ke nyamni tela tene jik jerim zo gomya ta tene sangwang ta sherwang tenzo le tene jik semji ji zorem zo gomba ta tene wang yiba tsewang rinpoche la tene zo ta semami pe zorem semi ji zorem ta tende komya ke tene tapta rinpa mambu jik yoba res.
And so the point for us when the Buddhist is to reach that liberation and that state of Buddhahood, that state of omniscience, to really to reach that, to liberate, to free ourselves and actualize that omniscience. And so that's what it's important for us. That's what we Buddhist we do based on that Buddha nature. Because something important to understand is that that liberation is not somewhere out, somewhere else that we need to go. We leave here to go to some, pure field, some paradise. This is not the liberation that Buddhists are talking about. For the Buddhist, the key thing is that actually liberation, those qualities of liberation, those qualities of omniscience, those qualities of a Buddha are present within us. So the whole point is to reveal those, so to become aware of those qualities, to bring them out, so that they now fully manifest. And so therefore, it's not like going somewhere else, but it's very much bringing out those enlightened qualities, those qualities of liberation, those qualities of that liberation that is already in us, this omniscience that is already in us. So that's why. So we are practicing the different sets of teachings, and so there are many teachings. So all the practices that we do, say the practices of the common vehicle or common Buddhist approach that involve the practices of shamatha and vipassana, for example, or the more profound practices of the secret mantra Vajrayana, then are all for that, in order to reveal these qualities of liberation that are within us. And so all those practices of the common vehicle of shamatha and vipassana, the practices of the Vajrayana, that is, so the practices of the four empowerments, they're called. So that the practices of the first empowerment, which is the Vaz empowerment, that's the practice of caring. For the second and third empowerment, the secret empowerment and the wisdom empowerment. So those are the practices of Dzogrim with elaboration, and then the practice of the fourth empowerment, which is the precious word empowerment, as it is known. So that is the practice of Dzogrim without elaboration, and so all those a level of practices, of which there are many. So we practice in order to reach liberation, which is to bring out, to bring forth those enlightened qualities, those qualities of liberation, those qualities of omniscience that are already present within us.
So saje chenpo tabo tina ta so wang shiba ke tani nyamne tela ta so de ton saje chenpo te tabo ke lam gomba yobare tindu yang ta tela yang saje chenpo tela yang tani septon ke saje chenpo se jute ta chu nam kunche ranji saje chi somba ta ke tene sepa kamson ko chu ten da ke shiwa nyangin den de chu la soba ke kondi chu tam chi chi tene ranji teni la tene saje chenpo se ne ta tsin ta ba tende ji indu tene saje chenpo teni la yang ta koron neluk tonda chepa yomar te ina yang tene te nyam su lenkin ke tene kansa ke lo ke chepar ke tene lo ta ramding ta som sayan rawo tang tene jik rimchi pa ke kansa sayan rawo tang jikjar wa ke kansa sayan tendre ke lo ramdra yoba indu o teda ke tene teda tan tumba ke tene saje chenpo ma denso tela yang tene jik kashi ta gongsa rimchi pa tendre ina teda tangbo tene gomto ne tawan choba saya tendre ke yang tomar ta shine taba tende kema tambo shine zaya ti tone tene ya lantong kita unik saje chembe ne tawa te ngo train ne tende ne gomton ne tawan soba se ya ta ya kashi la taton ne gomban soba se tu tambo ran ne tene ombo chikya wa tende ina tambo ran ne tene tawa saje chembo ngo train ne ini te ngo shito tnala tene te nyambar shane tende chinan roya ke rimba ramandra mambuchi yobare ina yang tene ta bola ta mang chewa te yang kansa chikya da rimji pani te se rimji pa ka kansa te se mang chewa yindu yang te la kono shitsul rabo te tene saje chembo ta namjur shise ya tambo tseji ke namjur sa tani tudraj namjur roji ke namjur gomi ke namjur sene namjur shike thone tani rembe ke ya ngoten roya ke ta tende chipton ke chas ramandra chasur mandra wa tende yobares.
And concerning the teachings of the Mahamudra, so that approach where say it's like the meditation of the great Buddha of empty bliss, and so that's the practice of the approach of the general approach in the Mahamudra. And in the Mahamudra, so there are even though so the basis, the fundamental teaching is the same, but then there can be many different approaches of ways to follow the teachings, in different steps, or the way of practicing it, for the practitioners. So basically, depending on the individual capacities or disposition of the different Dharma students, then you would have different approaches, even though so the basis is the same. And so even though so in the Mahamudras it explains that so fundamentally that view is that as it says, so that all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana are just the natural Mahamudra. So that means that fundamentally all things that you find in the samsara, but also all of the nirvana, everything is just fundamentally so that great nature of the Mahamudra, that great fundamental, that same great fundamental nature. And that is what is brought forth or realized through the practice. But then, in order to realize that, then you have those different. You need to account for the different capacities of different students, and so, as it says, so there are those of a greater capacity, middling capacity, lesser capacity. So there's those three levels. Also, sometimes we talk about those who can realize instantly, and those who come to realize in stages. So that those who realize in stages is also it's like those who come to the view through meditation. So that is that they first practice the resting meditation of shamatha. So that based on that stability that is acquired through that meditative stability, then the wisdom of the vipassana, then of the Mahamudra, then can be introduced to them. And so based on having cultivated a meditation, then they come to realize the view. There are those also called those who realize so instantly, and for those, so the approach is more of those who come to meditation through the view. So those, they realize instantly the view. At first they have that realization. So then they cultivate, maintain that recognition, and in this way, so cultivate the meditation based on that realization of the view. So those are the the two main greater divisions. But then, because in Tibet, so most people, by and large, everyone was of the those who progress in stages rather than those who realize instantly, and so those progress in stages by first cultivating meditation and then coming to realize. Therefore, so the Mahamudra got to be known as a more gradual approach that involved those four stages of meditation: the stage of one-pointedness, the stage of the stage of simplicity, the stage of the one taste, and the fourth stage, which is non-meditation.